Hello and welcome. Today I've got another bit of a speculative video for you guys. And so first, full disclaimer, I don't have any inside information. Everything that I'm going to say here is based on things that were publicly available. So I don't know if it will actually happen, however, probably will. So we are getting a bunch of new animals, not in the Chronicles DLC, which was just released, but probably in the next DLC. And how I know this is that in the RMS community, we discovered that a bunch of new animals were referenced in some of the map scripts or included files for the map scripts. That's been removed now with the Chronicles DLC, the references to that probably to avoid leaking too many spoilers, but it was available publicly and we saw it. So I thought I'd show you which animals we spotted and then engage in some speculation as to where the new DLC will be located. So, without further ado, I'm just going to go through the animals. I've taken some screenshots here from Wikipedia to help show us the distribution and have some nice images of what these animals look like. So first up we have the tapir, which seems like an obvious candidate as a boar-type animal, and that is located in South and Central America, and also a bit in Indonesia. Then we have the dingo, which is essentially a wild dog and located in Australia. Then we have a reference to a snake, and without knowing what type of snake it is, it's probably a predator animal, so it's not going to be a small tree snake as shown in this picture, but likely a large snake. You know, maybe an anaconda or something. But we don't really know what type of snake it will be, but snakes could be anywhere. It depends really on how they present it as what kind of snake it is. Next up we have the caiman, and I took the screenshot here of the spectacled caiman for us. So this is also, it's basically an alligator type creature that you will find in, South America, Central America, depending on which species it is as well. So another predator animal. Essentially, we have probably the dingo is also a predator animal. So we have a boar and 3 predators. Then we have the guanaco, which is a type of llama, essentially, and is found in South America, and could be another herdable, for example. Then we have the rhea, which is essentially an ostrich, but in South America. It's the South American version of an ostrich for all intents and purposes. Then we have a condor, and there are two different species here. There's one that's in the Andes in South America, and there's one that's in North America, sort of in California and so on. I've sort of, to make my point here better, I've picked the South American one as our example. And then we have flamingos, which are found in a variety of areas, including Africa, but also including South America. And finally, you have a black panther. And a black panther as such is not a specific species, but rather it's a black version of a pantherid, of a type of large cat. Can be different types of cats, can be black. So it's either a leopard, which would mean that it's in Africa and Asia, or it could be a jaguar, in which case it's in South America and Central America. So add that all up, and we have a whole lot of animals that could conceivably be in South America. Basically all of them except the dingo could have, a reasonable variant in South America. And if we say that our DLC is not going to be in South America, well, then we're stuck with several animals that really don't have a home in that DLC. The tapir, the caiman, the guanaco, the rhea, all don't really fit anywhere else in the world. The condor could be in North America, but realistically, it also points very much to an America's DLC. The dingo really stands out because we're not going to get an Australia DLC, but it's not fitting with the South American one either. The snake just depends on what kind of snake it is. Flamingos are widely distributed. And with the Black Panther, once again, they could either take it as a jaguar or a leopard. Both of those exist in the game already, but that's very plausible that that could be in South America. So, add that all up, and I do think, with reasonable certainty, that these animals point to a South American DLC coming soon for us. I'm not an expert on the history of the different cultures that they could pick. This is just a screenshot as well from Wikipedia. I know more about animals and less about ancient cultures, but I'm sure there are plenty of you that can speculate on what civilizations we might be getting. So that's all. Thanks for watching, and leave a comment letting me know what you think.